the journey to get to where you're at now, Nate, if you think back, I'm sure in this period of time, even from November, right? I'm sure there's like, if you look at yourself, you're kind of like, I'm not really who I was even then,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
No, I feel like a total different person in a lot of ways, right? Like a lot of ways. And there's a lot that goes into that. That could be another, full length podcast, but it definitely, yeah, it's different. And I saw you get excited explaining you watching him change. And I, I get over the moon for people that change like that. And it's not because they were bad people before. It's just that their mind was limiting them a little bit and they saw it. And I'm like, man, this is so cool to watch. Like, I absolutely love seeing people take something, see the spark, and then just go all in on it. Like, it's so fun to watch.
At some point, you realize the numbers you're hitting aren't measuring the life you're living. Welcome to Quit the Quota. I'm Daryl Medico.
And I am Maria Ryan. This is the podcast for professionals, especially sales professionals, who've done what they were supposed to do and still found themselves questioning whether that version of success really fits.
Each episode features honest conversations with people who stepped outside the traditional mold, along with reflections from our own years in the corporate world.
Quit the Quota isn't about quitting ambition. It's about defining success on your terms. Well, hey, Daryl. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am great. Having a great week. Working and just being persistent in what I'd like to say is just one more. So right before the end of the day, I'm just going to do one more. Like, I'm ready to close the laptop. I'm going to just do one more. And because of that, I've gotten a few, engagements just because of one more. Isn't that interesting?
One more. It's amazing how well that works. We had a great meeting earlier this week with with our little cohort of who we help and who we support, and coming out of that, remember what my commitment was? My commitment.
I remember your commitment.
Right?
He's gonna. Should we? Can you share with everyone what your commitment was?
Yeah, we can share that. Sure. I'm kind of a sissy when it comes to running in the cold weather and golfing in rain, right? Golfing in rain.
We have video proof of the rain.
The rain one, you'll see. That's a great one. I'm a sissy when it comes to that. So I don't jog much over the wintertime. And, my cardio is not good right now. It's just not good. So, we had our weekly mindset meeting, and I made the commitment that I would run 3 times before the next mindset meeting, or there's a penalty, right? So we're also an accountability group of amongst each other. And I am not going to pay that penalty. It's just not going to happen. So I went for a jog yesterday outside in the cold.
You did it. Actually, I loved it because one of the people on the call was like, "Oh, so you don't like being uncomfortable there, Daryl?" I was like, "Whoa,
it's a good one."
That's exactly right.
Yep. So,
that's awesome. Good.
So so I got two more to go, and it's going to happen. Because I'm not going to pay that penalty. So it's not going to happen.
Heck no, you're not. You're not going to do it. No. It's a jog outside. Just get warm.
That's it.
Bundle up. All right. So I'm excited. We have a guest today. Give me a little insight on our guest.
Yeah, super excited for our guest today. This is a great friend of mine, business colleague, Nate. I worked with him in a previous job, and fortunate enough, able to partner with him again today, through our work and Quit the Quota. And he also helped me out too when I was starting Stay Space. So he was really helpful for that. Just a couple little things when I was getting things up off the ground. So a fellow sales adjacent type person that has quit the quota. So super excited to talk with him. We should bring him on.
All right, let's bring him on.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Nate.
Hey, nice to see you both.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I've been very excited for this one. Excited to see where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you never know. Daryl and I just kind of let it go. You just never know what's going to happen, which is great.
I feel like that's any conversation Daryl and I have had over the past couple months. It quickly evolves from, hey, I have a quick question, to 35,
an hour later
minutes of going back and forth.
Exactly.
So it's been great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Fantastic.
Yep. Super,
Well,
super, super excited to see you, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
no.
Yeah, this has been it's funny when I first heard about you guys starting this and you start recording and these are the plans. It just felt so natural with where I am and where you guys are going and what you've been
Yeah.
through each individually. So it's been exciting. I think I've been thinking about it for the past couple of weeks because it's just like, all right, this is meant to be. So
Yeah.
very, very exciting. Very exciting stuff. How are you guys doing? Haven't talked to you guys in a little while.
Been a bit for sure. Doing fantastic. We've got the show now up and rolling and running, and Stay Space is killing it. Maria's killing it. Yeah, I've been doing phenomenal. Maria, how about you? How have you been doing?
I'm doing good. I'm looking for ways to drum up more conversations with people so I can help them make some phenomenal decisions in their lives. That's my new tagline. It's like, oh, you're in sales? Like, no, I just help people make decisions. That's all.
At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? We're all here to help
That's
others.
That's it. Exactly.
Yep, I get it.
I always say that the people that in any sale, anything that you're doing, right, and you're working with public, right, and you're working with clients, I always say that they're not professional buyers unless they work in procurement, right? And even procurement, I was going
to say, I've had a lot of really bad experiences there.
The procurement personnel are professional analyzers, right?
That's right.
I don't know about professional decision makers, right? So, but they're not professional buyers, professional decision makers. So the main job of a good salesperson is just help them make a decision, right? And just be a professional salesperson that just helps them bring them through a process and just what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Right. So Maria's like one of the best at that for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would say like great segue, Daryl, you and I working in a previous capacity, that's sort of what we did together, right? Like it's just giving the end user everything that they need to know about making that buying decision. And you were we were both on the sales side of it. I was more on the technical sales side of it, but we would do that, right? Like you'd arm them with whatever they needed to know about the product. And then I would say, hey, let's go a little bit deeper and talk about the technical side of things. So it's just, that's a great way of putting it, is just the information that you're giving to someone. It's not really, it doesn't feel like selling if you're not actively trying to sell. You're just informing, and then things go a lot smoother, in my opinion, anyways.
Totally. Yeah. In my experience, even since our time working in tech sales together, what I have found is that even more so now, I actually work hard on talking the person out of what I sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll say he reverses it real quick, actually.
Yeah. I'll just say actively, in so many words, I don't know, maybe this isn't the right way to go. Maybe my solution isn't the right solution. Yeah. Let's work on this together to analyze and figure out what's the ideal scenario for you, right? Which is it's very counterintuitive to how most salespeople work. Like most salespeople are like, my product is the best, everyone should use it, and I still believe that, right? But it may not fit for that person at that time. That's all.
Right.
So.
It makes people's heads kind of go. They're like, would you just no, hold on.
Well, I see it every week now. Like now that I'm kind of in that sales role for what I'm doing, I'm doing it, a lot of it on my own right now, but I see a lot of that is they come to me and customer comes to me and they have all these softwares and all these different apps that they're using and all these things. And I'm sitting there going, you don't need half of this and you might not even need what I have. But when you get into the crux of the conversation, like they may need something, maybe it's a little piece of it, but you uncover that. Like I like to approach every conversation I have, whether I know something or not, of they don't know anything about what I do. And they actually probably don't know about their tech stack because they're coming to me asking questions. So it's just having that, like you said, Daryl, like talking them out of it, so to speak, but to talk them into a better vehicle. Right? Like you don't need the biggest vehicle. You just need something that's the most efficient for what you're doing. And you uncover so much when you take that approach rather than look at this. Like these are our numbers. Like they don't care about the numbers. They just want to know, does it do what I need it to do at the end of the day? Some things are tied to numbers, but not everything.
Most people don't care about what you have. They care about what they need.
Yes.
Very true.
Yep. 100%. I feel like we were on all those calls back in the day.
So back in the day, this is where I want to go. Let's go back in the day.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know you more recently because of a couple of the projects that we're all partnering on together.
Yeah.
But let's start back in the day where you got to know Daryl and what you were doing, and kind of walk us through your story to bringing you to where you are today. And then we'll dive into that aspect, but
Everything.
bring us on the journey with you.
Yeah. So I got my previous lifetime, I actually was not even involved in tech at all. I worked for Volkswagen and Audi for about eight to 10 years. I did everything
Wow.
from working on them to service writing to parts to, it was kind of everything. And that's always been my hobby, but not something I'm passionate about from a career. So I took a job working with Comcast, which was, that's a whole other story in and of itself. But that's what parlayed me into meeting Daryl. I went to work for a company called Dine. I was doing sales engineering for them, which, as you guys are aware, that you partner with a sales individual and you kind of work together collaboratively to close these customers or prospects into anything that they're looking for, so to speak. And Daryl and I get to partner on it quite a bit. Like, I feel like we worked a lot together. There was times where we didn't, but we were always next to each other, right? Like, we were always working in the same building, and got to work on a lot of stuff together. That's where I started. I would say that was Dine was a big turning point for me, because I was able to see more of the sales process, more of the technical sales process, and then understand what I like doing. Working with someone like Daryl was great, because it's like, okay, I get that full picture. And then now I'm digesting, like, what do I really want to do? What do I want to hone into? And yeah, we were on many, many sales calls, many, traveling. I don't think we traveled too much together, but we did do a lot of traveling from Dine, where we were in the same group, I guess is the best way to say it. From there, just to give you guys a little bit more of a backstory, I went to work in cloud communications as a solutions engineer, a little bit of support, a little bit of CSM stuff on that side of it. And then I worked for them pretty much until I decided to go full-time on my own and quit that quota, which was great. So little plug there. But I bounced around, spent some time in the internet infrastructure space, and again, just continued building. What do I really want to do? I knew I wanted to be tech. I'm very passionate about it. I love it. I love talking to people. I love talking in general. So this podcast is perfect. But yeah, and I spent a lot of time doing a lot of different things within tech to arrive to where I am today and say, okay, I love the technical side of it. Didn't really love the constraints of the corporate stuff. Like, I could get creative in some aspects, but I think that was another light bulb for me was, okay, I can get creative, but not as creative as I want to get. Started doing stuff on the side pretty much the time I was at Dine, building small websites, doing like little odd jobs for people. And that's when it clicked. I'm like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. And it's just kind of built and evolved from there. And as of late last year, I went through another round of layoffs I was at a company called Twilio, went through some layoffs, and I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm at the mercy of a big corporation. I'd rather be at the mercy of my own wrongdoing or right doings, because there is good and bad every day in owning business, as we all know. And decided to make that jump on January 1st. And I had a good book of business already, or at least a network of people. And it's just been like a rocket ship since then. And I'm very thankful for that. So that's the high level of where I've been and what I'm doing.
Love that high level.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, from cars to owning your own business.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. And I feel like I've always known that I wanted to do that, but I never knew what it took. And I think that's normal, right? Like, everybody, I think a lot of people, I don't say everybody, but a lot of people dream of like, I want to work for myself and own my own business. I feel like that was the first thing, is like, own my own business. But what does that even mean? Like, you don't know until you've gone through a part of a career, or you've tried things. I mean, even in high school, I owned it was called Frisella Motorsports. And I would literally I had a wholesale account, and I would sell Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche aftermarket parts. And I remember my dad saying, where are you getting all this money? And I'm like, it's not illegal. I'm just not illegal. So I knew, like, early on, this is what I wanted to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to do it with. So it's been such a cool journey. Like, it's just cool to see all the puzzle pieces come together. To even just sitting in this office, I'm like, wow, I have my own office now. This is pretty cool. So it's been a lot of fun. A lot of
Oh
fun.
my
You have your own
gosh.
office, not a cubicle.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not constrained to a cubicle. That does keep me humble though. Working in like corporate, even at Dine, I wouldn't define Dine as corporate, but we still
No.
had cubicle style desks to a degree. It was a lot more freedom than say a Comcast where you look in and it's just endless, right? Like it was
Yeah.
Dine was that next step of like, okay, a little more freedom here. Like we're getting
Yeah.
more and more towards like the freedom of time and the freedom of being able to do what you need to do, whether it be family or personal or whatever it might be.
Were you
So,
there when Daryl named the conference room the fishbowl? I heard that story yesterday.
yes. Well, I don't know if I was there when he did, but I remember like
You
that was the
remember it?
big thing. Like, oh, here's the fishbowl. So
Okay.
yeah, I was that was like the key room, right? Like all the rooms were named something, but the fishbowl is. I always got nervous going to the fishbowl. It's like everyone's looking at you and watching.
Everyone's staring at you.
What are they doing in there? So
Perfect name for it.
yeah,
Daryl's actually in marketing too. You didn't know that?
yeah.
It was great. It was a great name.
Perfect. It was perfect. But yeah, no, it's been a great journey, and I'm excited to dive into more of that with you guys too, for sure.
Heck yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit, if you could. I mean, I always like to kind of just go through that journey a little bit, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning, kind of work our way through.
Yeah.
Let's go back, if you could, just talking through like one of the words that you used, because I know this will resonate with a lot of people, is that the restraints in corporate, right? The restraints that jumped out at me as you were talking through that. We were fortunate at Dine. I mean, I think every W-2 and every company is going to have some type of restraints, right? Right. You're not making all the decisions, obviously, but
No.
in startup environments, and especially more forward-thinking companies like Dine was, there was some autonomy. That was nice, and I think it gave us everyone in that company that embraced it. They gave you a little taste of, oh, this is what entrepreneurship could feel like. Like we had that flexibility, but in other companies, I didn't have that. In other companies, you didn't have that. Talk through some of those restraints and maybe what that felt like in the moment, if you can kind of just travel back to that.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. So for me, I would say if you start at like the Comcast side and then use that as the lower end, and then you go to the higher end like Twilio, I don't want to say there was no constraints. There were. I always say you had a lot of freedom, but there was an asterisk there because what came with that freedom was immeasurable stress, at least from my side, right? Like, hey, if you need that appointment or you want to go to your kid's soccer game, or you want to do great, but your phone's always it's going off all the time. So there were constraints from that perspective, at least in my experience, right? Like I can do what I want and you get the taste of it and it feels great. But at the end of the day, what clicked for me, and really this happened at Twilio, was you make great money. You can do what you want. However, there's always something to go back to, and you have always someone to answer to. And it's like, yeah, you have the freedom, but not without these prerequisites. And that to me felt like it was like a little bit of like a back and forth. You're like, wait, I have freedom, but I don't really have freedom, but I have freedom. And it was a constant tug and pull for me. And that I think that was another like light bulb moment for me. I understand now as a business owner, that's still going to happen. However, the constraint lies on me. I'm the one that's making the decision. So if I say at noon on Wednesday, I'm going to go pull the girls out of school. I have 2 young girls. We're going to go to the beach because it's 85 degrees. I can do that. I have the ability to now thwart any like repercussions of that by saying, all right, I'm just going to move my day, or I'm going to do something a little bit earlier. Maybe I do more work on Monday, Tuesday. So you have the ability to do that. Whereas corporate's a little more structured in the sense of like, nope, this is what Nate's doing Monday through Friday. If he can squeeze something in, great. But you don't have that flexibility. That I feel like that word, now that I'm saying it, is such a buzzword in tech. Like, we have flexibility, but do you? Like, and I'm not knocking it. Like, it works for
Unlimited PTO.
Yeah.
Is it really?
We can't even go down that path. Like, unlimited PTO does the exact opposite to the mental state, because
100%.
Twilio actually had to come out with a sort of like not SOP, but sort of like a rule. You have to take a minimum of 2 weeks a year, because they were finding people would take, like, specifically in the US, take a week or then maybe they do like one weekend, long weekend or something like that. And I feel like that word itself, like flexibility, unlimited PTO, it just doesn't jive together. Like at least I didn't feel that way. I took 2 weeks off at Twilio to do my Florida trip. Every year I do a Florida trip. I go ride my dirt bike, spend some family time. The whole time, all I thought about was like, my inbox is going to be obliterated when I get back. And it didn't matter that I had an out of office. It didn't matter I had backups. It was, you're still going to come back to a plethora of things and you have to answer to someone that's now questioning, well, why did you do that? And they're not doing it out of malintent. They're not trying to make you feel bad. It was just, that was their job, right? Like they're trying to keep you on track. And again, I know saying that sounds a little different because even self-employment, you do still have to answer to those things, but you have the ability to go, okay, I can structure how I need to structure it as long as everybody's taken care of. So I just think the corporate side of it, they're doing it right in a lot of ways, but they're also putting that asterisk on there and saying, well, you
Please read the fine print right below here. Yeah, the disclaimer.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know, Daryl, you might have seen that too, right? Like it's I don't know, it's hard to explain, but
well, just to help you out a little bit, like, because I saw two sides to this coin after Dine, right? So I think Dine was phenomenal, really, really was. They got a lot right. They got more right than they got wrong. For the entire time that I was there, and it was the culture only started to change as I departed, in my opinion, to more of that. Yeah, you don't have flexibility. We're going to tell you what to do, and this is how you're going to do it, and this is when you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like it evolved to that. But then I was fortunate. I was really fortunate. The next stop after that, I found another great company, software company, phenomenal leader that I learned a ton from. Tons of flexibility, tons of autonomy. Maybe a little bit too much at times because I fell on my face on a couple of occasions, and I'm just now I gotta own it. I gotta talk through that. But that was good because it was a strong case of being an entrepreneur without being one, right? I had to go and negotiate a lease. I had to go and start up a new office. I had to help out with the construction, the builds. I was like a facilities manager in a sense of like, all right, let's get the build going. How are we gonna set up the cubicles? And like I knew I didn't want cubicles, so I got the dog bones because that was just a much more open, free concept. That was what I was used to versus a traditional cubicle. So I got to do all that. I'm like, this is good. Like, and then see that vision come together and watch people flourish because of the culture and because of the vision. So, so I was there for a few years, and then I ended up leaving there, and I went on a string of some bad companies.
Yeah.
Like, 2 or 3 that just, the exact opposite of those things. Right. And that was my fault.
Right.
That was my fault. I didn't interview them good enough to understand, it's not their fault. That was their culture. That was who they were as a leader.
Yep.
It was all me. So, but to talk about flexibility, to talk about culture and those things that are important, and this is what I found is that a lot of companies say that they have it, even the ones that do it well, they don't quite have it as fully as we just talked through. There's some ones that really get it wrong. And I'll give you an example. I think I might have talked about this example before. I had a gig I was at where I was a senior leader, and the person that I was reporting to didn't have kids. So did not understand and did not acknowledge and did not have empathy when things would happen with kids. Doctor's appointment. I got to go and pick my kid up from daycare a little bit earlier today, right? Like, whatever, all the little things that we know happen with kids.
Right.
And it was a constant struggle. Not even for me, because fortunately I had a ton of support. The team that was reporting to me had their own issues with kids and different things. And it was like, well, why is that guy not here today? He's got something going on with his family. Well, he's got to be here. You call him up and you deal with that. That's not flexibility. Like that made me despise the job because then I had to be a person that I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I think to me, when I talk about flexibility, that's the difference for me, is that I don't have to be someone I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I can be me. I am incredibly transparent in my business.
Yeah.
Sometimes overly transparent. I am incredibly free at the mouth of like, here's why this is important. Get it right. We need to get this right.
Right.
And I don't have to sugarcoat it. I don't have to like protect someone or, that's the freeing part for me.
Yeah. You said something like, culture, right? Like that's a huge thing. And I think no matter if you're working for yourself and you have some VAs, or you're working for yourself, you have a team, whatever, or a mix of that. Do you think a lot of that, the companies that you were at that did that wrong, and this sort of just clicked for me, so I'm going to try and talk through it, but do you think that a lot of that comes from these companies are too focused on the number, whereas entrepreneurship, I feel, at least from my experience, is I don't chase the number, I chase helping people. And I think that gets lost in cultures. I think the people that don't think about the bottom line number, I know we all have to pay attention to it, right? We own a business. I get that. But if you're just focused on that, I think that's where a lot of this, like, well, we have flex. Well, no, you don't. Just like you said in those examples, right? Like they're probably in their mind, like, we have to hit this number. We have to hit this number. We have to hit this number. Whereas I think if we just took a step back and said, okay, who are we helping? We're helping someone. The money will come. If you're helping people, they're going to open their wallets no matter what it is, within reason, right? For what they're purchasing. Mm-hmm. They have a budget. But do you feel like maybe that's where a lot of that comes from, is like we're too focused on those things, and we need to maybe be focused on that 40%, and the other 60 is to be like, what are we doing to help this company grow? The company that we're trying to get on board for working with us. Do you think that is part of where that comes from?
Yeah. I'm thinking about how I want to answer this because I have a few thoughts that are going through my mind.
So do I. I was never actually a manager. I was an account executive.
I'd like to hear it from Maria's point of view in a minute. I'll give it my point of view here in my leadership roles, right? And this goes for corporate sales as well. Yeah. That's what I'm drawing a connection to as you asked that question.
Yeah.
In a corporate sales process, right? Let's think back to our corporate sales days. Get that shiver out of the way for a minute.
Salesforce.
But let's think it back for a minute, okay? You had a champion, mm-hmm. You had an influencer, you had a decision maker, you had a decision killer, right? You've got all these different people at the table, right? You got finance, you got legal, right? You got all these different people that are in the process here.
Yeah.
Every person in that process, on a sales process, has to justify their being of why they're in that deal. Fair. Why they're in that sales process.
Mm-hmm.
So you have situations where the champion, this is a great idea, right? Like, we need to do this. We need to make this happen. They are justifying that they are bringing new concepts and new ideas, and they're pushing change that's going to create efficiencies in the business, right? Okay. The decision maker just has to justify that, and they're in a more kind of laid back spot, even though at the end of the day, if this thing fails, it's on them. Right. But their justification is, you just tell me, you give me the information, and my justification in this process is I'm going to make this decision, right?
Right.
Then you've got different people. I'm thinking specifically IT, finance, legal, okay, that they just have to come in and poke holes in this thing typically, of just like all the reasons why it won't work. And that's typically where they're making their money, so to speak. That's their justification.
Right.
Right. If I don't come in and poke holes in this, then they're going to wonder why I'm here.
Right.
So to bring that to your question around, is it about the money? That's definitely a big piece of it, right? Yeah. You chase the dollar, it gets you focused on the wrong things.
Right.
I also think that in corporate culture, it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
It's not just the dollar. Yeah. It's, I need to justify to my boss
mm-hmm.
why I'm in this seat.
Right.
And okay, use the example that I gave. Daryl has someone that's reporting to him that isn't making the number, that isn't here today. whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
If I don't deal with this, if I don't make this a big thing, if I don't document this, then I'm not justifying my role.
Right.
And
Right.
when cuts potentially happen, now I'm on the chopping block potentially.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely chasing the dollar, no doubt about it, because
Sure.
we've seen that firsthand. You lose the vision of what was important
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
why you even began this and why people are excited to work with you and how you're helping people. You can't chase the dollar. You chase the dollar, you're gonna fail every time.
Yeah.
But then I think too in corporate, just because it's built to be this way. I
Yeah.
think it's more self-preservation that I'm just going to stack the deck. It's Game of Thrones. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm going to stack the
Yeah.
deck to make
Yeah.
sure that I'm protected and my castle is protected.
Yeah.
I
So
think. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something there, because it flows down, right? Like it starts at the top and it comes down. So to your point, that one individual in legal might have a team of 5 under them, and their job, they have a job to do. And if they're not hitting that certain number or that certain metric, that's going to flow down to everybody that they're working under them. And I get that. So that's a great point, right? Like it is money, but it's also, I feel like maybe at times the departments are too bloated with people, and that's where some of that. And I saw it at Twilio. I got laid off twice because, well, we have too many people. And then I go back, well, wait, now we're back to what we just were. We're gonna do layoffs again. And I'm like, holy Moses, like this is crazy, So that's a great point. I didn't even really think of that, of that sort of like cascading effect of starting from the top. And it's more about less about the money, but more about the justification. And like, this is why we all got to be here all the time. And that's where the unlimited PTO becomes such a problem, because it's no one wants to take time off because they don't want to answer
guilty.
to. Yeah, you feel immensely guilty. It's
biggest scam in corporate culture is unlimited PTO. Biggest scam.
Oh my! Well, in the very beginning, when it came out, you were like, "Oh, this sounds kind of cool," and then you realize, "Oh, this is a trick."
And and I, not to go too far off on a tangent on that, but I think that's also sort of starts at the culture of the United States, and that's not a bad thing. The United States, if you look at it, no one takes unlimited PTO. They want to work, 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 work. We're workhorses. We love working. It's the American dream. That's what we signed up for, to go make a lot of money. And tied to that is working a lot, right? Like my dad works 100 hours a week, but he loves to work. I think if, working at companies like Dine and Twilio, you have a global team. You look at some of these other countries and they're like, oh, I'm going on vacation next week. I'm like, oh, when are you back? They're like, next month. And I'm like, wait, what? It's the middle of the month. They're taking 4 weeks off. So I think that also plays into it a little bit, because we just want to work all the time. So when you incorporate unlimited PTO, people don't even know what to do. They're like, wait, hold on. How much time can I take off? Because feels like there's an asterisk there as well. 100%. So it's, I get that. It's difficult. I wish that word wasn't used. I wish it would just be like, use it at your leisure or something along those lines. It's gotten
even
so
then,
muddy.
They're gonna be like, "What's that? How's that defined? And who's gonna look at me weird? And what's my definition of leisure versus yours?"
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think, it's an interesting. Whoever came up with it, and I'm sure it was in tech because that's who adopted it first. The concept is great. I appreciate it, because it does, at surface level, it's like, oh, more family time, more work-life balance, whatever that means. There's a lot of things there, but it just, when you dig into it, you're like, I don't know if I like this.
It's one of those things to me that the theory of it is phenomenal.
Yes.
Right? I would imagine that the first company, the first person that implemented it, it was for good reason. It was an entrepreneur, someone like who was just thinking outside the box, that, they were finding, for all the things that we're discussing, they were finding that, hey, we want to encourage more time with family. We don't want you to be, halfway through your year, we're hitting all of our marks, but you've used 2 weeks of PTO already, and you want to go on that vacation with your family, and you can, you're covered. We can do it. I would imagine it started from a really good place. I don't think there was any malintent.
I think they were probably trying to create a pattern disruptor within corporate. Yeah. And if you don't keep the focus on why you did it from the beginning, it's going to gobble you up, and it's going to turn right back into something that's used in a negative way.
100%.
So Nate, you said earlier, I don't want to go on tangents. These aren't tangents. This is why
Yeah.
Daryl felt the need, the passion to just have these stories, because you can't talk about it,
Yeah.
right? When you're sitting there, and you can't, or if you do, you're talking about it off to the side. And then that just builds this almost negative, not almost, it builds this negative mindset that's happening in the background that you're not even aware of, that's going to impact how you are in your day-to-day job. And then it just starts to disintegrate. And then you have this resentment. I mean, I literally had to forgive. I went through this process of saying, I forgive you, corporate. I forgive you, my experiences. I had to let it go
Yeah.
so that I can start to do something different. And again, like Daryl said, like you said, it starts usually from a good place.
Yeah.
It's just, if you don't keep the focus on the right things and the right reasons, right, you're going to have these experiences. But they're helpful, and they're helping to shape you, because you have some passion now, and you're making your own thing.
Yeah.
And you're right in the middle of all of that. And so that's really cool and exciting. So thank you for sharing that. It's not a tangent. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's and listen, like I think as a like new business owner, right? Like all of those things can creep into you yourself, right? Like my wife and I spent 4 years building a clinic, and you get to a point where you're excited, right? Like everything's going well. I'm going to take this extra time off, and that still burns at you, but you're in control. I think that's like the biggest thing for me is you're in control. You can do what you need to do. It's not someone else per se that's interfering into that and saying, no, go do it. And then you're like, wait, this is not what I signed up for type of thing. So
especially coming from where, I was not in a managerial role, I ended up starting to feel, when I was reflecting back, that my job was really only to support everyone else above me.
Yeah.
It stopped being about what does Maria's goal. I had quota and all of that, but honestly, it didn't matter, because I was aligned. I had to align to their goals instead of the reverse, and also stopped aligning to my clients' goals, because the goal of the companies outweighed it.
Right.
So to Daryl's point earlier, yes, there is the dollar, but it is self-preservation, because it all trickles up to eventually a board of directors who then have to report to people that gave them money to build this company. So that probably is where it starts to break down. So now you, Nate, are defining your goals and your your culture. Like Stay Space has a culture. Stay Space has core tenants. And Daryl could be at the helm of it. He could tomorrow say, yeah, we're going to remove number 2 because it's not aligning anymore. And you have the flexibility and freedom to do that. So that's the creativity, right? And some of that other aspects that you're starting to see. But I know you had mentioned earlier that you took the journey, started to realize, you experienced what a lot of us do, which is the roller coaster of job hire, search for a job, get hired, contraction, and it's a terrible cycle. I've been in it. It's a terrible cycle. Now you've broken free of that, and you're creating your own thing. Talk to us about where you're at and some of the, we'll call them growing, I don't want to say pain, but maybe growing pains. Where you're at.
Yeah. So I'm at the past 6 weeks has been I'm at like the eye-opening stage is what I like to call it.
Ooh, I like that stage.
Yeah. So back in November, when all of this happened in corporate, and I sat down with my wife.
Wait. So hold on. This just happened in November?
Well, the layoff
happened in 2025.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I had no idea it was that recent.
Yeah, very, very recent.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. All right, great.
Quick sidebar from that is I had been, like, I think I mentioned it earlier, I've been doing side work, right? Like do stuff on the side, whatever. Twilio was okay with that until they weren't. Okay. That was a big thing for me. I said, if this happens again, I'm good, because I went back to them and I said, hey, this is what I do on the side. Are you good with that? Yep, you're fine. Until it wasn't. Okay. So when it happened back in November and I got the letter and it's like, okay, what am I going to do? You go from like, I'm getting a paycheck every single week and it's healthy and I have bonuses and stock and all these things. I had an idea of what it was going to take. January 1st hit. I was like, this is awesome. January 15th hit. And I'm like, holy cow, I have so much to do that I didn't think about because I've never been there. So that kind of brings me to today. It took a couple weeks of just trial and error, trying to figure out what's going to work, because
Sure.
now I have to go get the work, I have to complete the work, and then I have to keep with those clients and keep them happy, right? So I'm it right now. I have some help. I have some part-time help that I employ to sort of get me there. But even that was a struggle. I hired someone on and I'm like, this isn't working. You go through those growing pains. For me, it's the processes. I'm good at writing my day down, mapping it out the night before, figuring out what I need to do. Where the bottleneck was, and I'm currently working on, is how do I get someone from A to Z with I don't want to say the least amount of effort, but the least amount of handholding or manual intervention? How can I automate a lot of this? Because corporate does it. Why can't I? It's just that I didn't think of all those things. When someone comes in, how do I handle from talking to them through contract signing? Because I can handle the others. The technical stuff is what I love, the creative, the building, all those things. But how do I get to that point without having to have 40 phone calls? Hey, I have a question about this. How do I get there? So now what I'm doing is building out a ton of processes, whether they're automated or partially automated, or, hey, this is where I intervene. And that's been, again, eye-opening. I didn't even think of this. And it's quickly piling up. Like my whiteboard to my left over here has a list of like, hey, you got to insert this here and make sure this is there, and cross your T's and dot your I's to make sure that things are smooth. Because one thing I learned early is if you don't have that all set up, you can lose a prospect so fast. And it's not because I'm dropping the ball per se, but it's because I'm not moving fast enough for them. Mm-hmm. They want to know what the price is, how long it's going to take, what's the contract look like, on and on and on for what I'm doing. How do you do it? Where are you building your websites? Where are you building the CRMs? What are you doing with my ads? So for me, that was huge. I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back and create white papers or create tutorials, FAQs, all of that I didn't even think about. When I first started January 1st, I'm like, come on, I'm just going to get on call and tell them how I do it. That worked for a minute.
Until the clients are making you course correct, basically.
Yes. And until they sort of check you, because as soon as they hang up that phone, they forgot 80% of what you said. They remember and that's not a knock. That's just like normal.
Oh, it's
right?
Like, it's so
reality.
true.
It's a
so
fire
true.
hose.
Oh my
gosh. You're
gosh.
telling them pricing and what we're going to work on and how we do it. And they're like, this is awesome. Yeah, I want to do it. Cool. They hang up. Wait, what did you need from me? Wait, what did we have? So now it's building out that process of, okay, we're going to recap. We're going to give you some to-dos. I have to-dos. I'm going to tell Daryl, we did this. We hang up with a phone call with the customer and, hey, this is what we talked about. This is what we need next. These are the next steps. But that didn't really register, because on the side, it was just quick phone calls here, half hour here, hour there. We're going to talk about it, check in. Now I just need it to be a little bit more, even if it is automated, people appreciate you checking in, right?
Yes.
A little bit more, even if it's the most minuscule thing, just transparency, right? Bake that into it, because it's easy to forget, especially for me. I'm sitting here building a website all day or building a CRM with automations and all this stuff. Give them a little bit. Tell them, like, this is what we did today. This is what it means for the project. Move on. Previously, it was like, hey, I'll just give this guy a call on Friday and tell him where I'm at. I don't think I want to be proactive. I don't want to be reactive. Where on Friday, they're sitting there tapping their feet going, where are we? What do you need from me? Like those types of things. So that's where I'm at now, is like trying to build out all my processes, sales process, the building process, the closing, like the project's done. Where do we go from here? Even stuff as silly as like upsells.
It's not silly.
For as long as I've been in technical sales, I absolutely despise but like thinking about like an upsell or adding more money to a contract or anything like that, because it's just not where my head's at. I just want to help. And I used to be so severely constrained by that, because I'm not to pat myself on the back at all. I feel like I'm a nice person. So I give people a lot, and that sometimes can burn me, because I'm like, no, I just did this. But now this is like life. I have to, and people don't care. Like if I went to someone and say, hey, this is going to cost an extra couple $100, they don't mind. So I was leaving money on the table for so long. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can still go above and beyond. And I do. every day with every customer. I do not limit to this box. And I tell people that all the time. But to kind of go back to the original question is that's where I'm at. I'm at, okay, we've got business, we've got people coming in, but we need to make this more streamlined, more proactive, and a better experience altogether for everybody that works with me. I don't want anyone leaving a project from me saying, man, that was a nightmare. That's my biggest fear. I just don't want that to happen. So that's where I'm at.
It won't, because you're passionate.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And like I said, I love people and talking. So I just need to use that as a strength. And I think a lot of people that know me, a lot of my clients know it. I'm like that. I'll call and just chat. And Daryl, like I said it earlier, you and I will talk about like what we need to talk about. But then in the next 25, 35 minutes is like, hey, what have you been up to? I do that with everybody now. And that's another thing that I'm finding out is that people just want people. They don't want a robot. They don't want to go talk to AI to build a website. I see ads every day. Have AI build your website. Great. There's a place for that. But they don't want that. They want this interaction. And that's been a cool eye opener for me too. Because I used to think like, just check the box and move on because that's what they want. That's not what they want. They want you. So
humans want humans.
They do.
Always.
Yeah. And I feel like AI can ruin that at times for sure. But we're there.
Got to remember.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not too worried about AI right now. Eventually, sure, maybe. Right now, I'm not too worried about it because I think people still desire the human interaction, right?
That's how we're made.
Yeah, we're social creatures.
Yeah,
Most of us are.
And I think, I think we all are. That's why we're sitting here, right? We're all,
yeah.
We want.
Well, the three of us are.
I've met some people in my life who are not social creatures. So leave me alone.
Yes.
Stay home. I'm a homebody.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing to experience, right? Like, especially this new stage of life and what I'm doing now it's just funny to see. And I know it. I didn't, it's not like something I'm learning that's new. It's just opening my eyes to like, oh wait, this is a lot more simple than, I'll use that term lightly, simple than what people make it out to be. With AI, I will say, Daryl, like it's funny. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that because I think people are getting a misconception with AI. AI is going to solve my problems. No, it's not. It's going to make it even worse, especially if you don't know how to use it. If you're just blindly going into ChatGPT asking random questions like it's Google, it may make your life a little more difficult. But I think where AI is going to shine is individuals that know how to use it, because AI it can be as smart as you want, or it can be as dumb as you want. It just depends on how you treat it, right? Like if you're just asking yes, no questions, it's not going to help you.
I've tested AI. This is why I'm not super worried about it. I've tested AI with aviation questions.
Yeah.
Just to see like what gets spit out. And I just things that I know the answers to that are more complex than just, give me the federal regulation for, what is required for a daytime VFR flight, right? Like that's a pretty basic one. I think AI could find that one, but I've asked more specific questions around, what I have to, think of in real time. Because Cooper asked me about this. He's just like, I forget how it came up, but we were talking about AI in general. And I'm just like, I think we were just talking about, do you use it when you fly? Because we were talking about, yes, that's what it was. He's, in a math class right now. He got invited to be in an advanced algebra class. He's in 8th grade. I was never invited to an honors class in 8th grade, right? I had to test in high school to get to an AP class. He got invited, which is like, I don't know whose kid he is. That's amazing. So,
he has so everybody knows his son has quite the work ethic when it comes to his schoolwork and his grades.
Awesome.
He does.
That is built in for a reason. That kid's going to be doing something.
He's very, very good with that. So, but he was asking, he's like, I'm not sure, and there's a whole bunch of mindset stuff there for him that we're talking through and we're working through. And, he's going to go for it. I can tell he's going to go for the class because he's like, I'm not sure, it's going to be harder. And he's just thinking it all through. Yeah. And then I was just telling him, I'm like, dude, I use a good amount of math. And he's like, well, and I was talking about flying, and he's like, well, doesn't AI take care of that for you? I go, buddy, let me just explain something. If I am literally in an airplane flying through the weather, flying through the clouds, and I need to analyze anything, fuel endurance. I need to analyze my descent rate. I need to analyze something. I'm like, there may be a time in my life where AI will give me an answer that I'm somewhat confident in, but you better believe I'm going to be checking that again. Like I'm not just going to blindly go with AI and just say, here we go. And, then flying, and I made him laugh. I go, then I fly into a mountain. That sounds great. I'd rather not do that.
Let's not say we do.
Well, and then later on that evening, I just hopped on ChatGPT, and I forget what prompt I put in, but I put in like a complex thing that I would have to analyze, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close. I'm like, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like, so no, I'm not particularly worried right now about AI for those reasons.
I had a good conversation with like a prospect about this, because they said, well, I got an ad for AI can build me my website. And I said, oh, it can. Absolutely can. It'll build it for you. And I'll be the first to tell you, I use it for certain aspects of building. But I said, what do you do after it builds? Oh, I have no idea. And I'm like, right. That's
exactly. Bingo.
Right. That's where the human intervention comes in. Will it get you 20% of the way there, 25% of the way there on a certain block of that project? 100%. For what I do, I agree.
Yep.
Where it falls short is it still needs you. You're the one ingesting the stuff. And yes, it's, I don't want to say smarter than you because you're feeding it the question, but it does have the wherewithal to go, okay, he's asking me to do this specific thing. I've mastered it and I'm happy with it as a person. I'm happy with what it did, but I still have many steps after that. Let's say it's create a template for something, website, email, whatever. I still have to take that, polish it, make sure it's, mobile friendly, tablet friendly, do all these things. Cause I'll tell you right now firsthand, it does not do that the way people think it does. I think AI is a tool in the toolbox. It is not the solution for a lot of things right now. Like Daryl said, maybe at some point we'll get to that point. And there's a lot of things it can replace right now, chatbots, stuff like that. But even then, you still need to train it from a human perspective for it to work. And similar conversations with my daughter. She's 9 and is figuring out Google and all that stuff. So we were driving the other day and I talked to ChatGPT or Claude, one of the two, over the truck we were driving. And she was amazed at how conversational it was. But even she picked up, well, that's not right. And I'm like, you're right. It's not right. But it gave me enough to be able to go, oh, okay, I remember now. And now I can go do what I need to do. But it's not going to give you all the answers. She wants to use it for math or for her homework, but and I said, no, it doesn't get them all right. don't do that.
No,
don't
do
that. I'll go sideways real quick.
Yes.
So Nate, oh, sorry, Daryl, go ahead.
No, I mean, we were just, something came to me as we were talking through this. You said earlier, just about how, you're doing things a little bit, differently. Some of the experiences that you're going through, and it made me think of, if you could think back a moment, Nate, for, other people that you've worked with in the past, right? A lot of smart people, right? It's a 2-part question here. Okay. First part, do you feel like others felt similar to you, right? In the sense that they felt, all the same things we just talked about, restraints in corporate America, wanting to build something, wanting to do something on their own. So do you have others that do you think the others felt similar to you? And then the second part of the question is, and this is probably the more open-ended part of it, right? Is what do you think has made you different?
Oh, that's a great question. To answer the first one, absolutely. I know that a lot of people have felt the same. There's one individual, he's a great friend of mine at Twilio. We still talk quite frequently. And he's verbally expressed that to me. He's like, dude, I want to be doing what you're doing. Not what I'm doing, but like go out on my own and have my own thing and my own freedom and those types of things. So I know that they're feeling that way. I think there's a couple things that made me different. I'm not any smarter than those people that I've worked with. I've worked with, and you've worked with, I think all of us have worked with very intelligent people, very, very smart in what their craft was. I think there's a couple things that people didn't have that I had at that particular moment. And the biggest one is they don't know what they want to do. They've been in corporate for so long and haven't experimented with their side projects or anything like that. So they don't really know where their place is. They just know they want to be there. They just don't know what to fill that box with, which is coincidentally something I'm extremely passionate about, is helping people break that mold of like, well, I couldn't do anything. There are people, and this is no word of a lie, that will leave their jobs because they create a ebook or a course about butterflies. I'm not kidding. They leave their corporate job. They don't make a crap ton of money, but they have a blast doing it. And I use that example quite a bit. I have another friend from Comcast. She's actually a personal friend from, I think it was like 15. And she always says that, I don't know what I do. So we talk all the time, and I say, pull the onion back. What are you good at Comcast? She's been there for almost 20 years. What are you good at Comcast today? So she'll go through it, and I go, why don't you start building some sort of library of that thing and just sell it, or put a freebie out there and see what people think. You're really good at SOPs. Write something about how you write a really good SOP and give people examples and walk through that. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen personally, is just they don't know what they want to do. So it's having that like brain session of like, what do you love? What are you passionate about? What do you want to go pursue? Or what do you think you'd have fun pursuing? I think the other side of that for me is the risk. A lot of people, I think you have to have a strong mindset. You can't have a weak stomach for it, because you're going to have days where you're getting punched left and right. You might have weeks, you might have months where you're doing that. So I think some people get concerned about that. It's the safety, right? Like I already have a job that like pays good money, or I can live a life I want to live with where I am. I don't know that I want to take the risk, or that I can take the risk. And I was caught in that for a long time. Like, I make great money,
Yep.
and it sounds great. I know I can make so much more if I'm on my own. I'm confident in it. But a lot of people it's hard to wrap your head around that. And even with kids, like I thought about it when I was like, oh man, am I making the right decision here? Like, I have a family that relies on, partially on me, partially on my wife, but like really relies on me. Can I do this? And I'm personally able to turn that into the fire, right? Like, that's the fuel that lights me up every day. I need to go do this and make a difference, and then I'll start making money and we'll be good. But I think a lot of people lack that sort of like that one little aspect. And it's not a knock on them. It's just, it's hard. It's very difficult to think about that, because you go from 6 figures to nothing overnight, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know,
Big reality check.
it is. Yeah, it is. So I think having the right people in your corner, the right partner, if you're with someone, the right family that can stand behind you, be like, hey, this is what you've got this, you can do it. You just need to put your nose down and do it. I fortunately have a great family, a lot of entrepreneurs in the family that stood behind me and did it. My wife's been doing the same thing. Like, hey, yeah, go do it. You've been doing what you've been doing long enough. It's your turn to go like build something that you're passionate about. So I think those are like some of the high level things that I've seen recently.
Love those.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good. And
what if someone doesn't have that support system that you have? Let's say, because you said you love to help, and I love the butterfly, like ebook thing, which is so cool. That's like just, I mean, I think it's interesting, because you just made me think of something, but not that I'm selling butterfly ebooks.
No, we're going to do caterpillar. That's okay.
You connected a dot for me.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who just like your friend. She happens to have a you in her corner, which is phenomenal. Yeah. So if someone is listening and they're like, I'm in the rat race, I've been doing this. Wow, this is resonating. Okay, they don't know what they want. Obviously, like you said, just go through that exercise. But for someone who doesn't have that support system, how do you build your own support system?
I will say it's very difficult and it's very lonely. I always prepare people for that. And one of the things that I think about all the time is I have a very small circle of like actual friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but it's a very small circle of friends, because people that don't want to go work on their own, that's fine. That's great. We need that. The world needs that, right? Like, not everybody wants to go do it, and not everybody can. What I say to people is, be prepared for that. but put yourself in the rooms that you need to be in. And it could be a literal room. You go hang out at a different place where people that are doing similar things to you are. Go hang out there. Also, on the flip side of that, social media, unbelievable tool for that. Don't follow the people that are just out there making content that's just mindless and mind numbing. Go start, like, Threads is a great way to do this. Threads, I use that a lot now. Whatever I'm searching or whatever I'm putting into Threads, I start seeing more of that all the time. So if you're interested in building an SOP book, start going on Threads and look for hashtag SOP and start commenting on stuff. You're going to start seeing more individuals show up in your feed, and then you start connecting with more people that are doing things that you want to be doing, and start befriending. It doesn't have to be on social media, but befriend those types of people. And you don't have to abandon your own old friend group by any means, but they're just not going to understand it if they're not in it. So there's not a lot of reason to be in that group. I've lost friends, lifelong friends, for one reason or another, and it stings. And there's no ill intent. I don't think like, oh, well, good luck to them in a sarcastic way. I genuinely am like, hey, I hope they really do well. That's great. They just don't fit in my life right now. Maybe they will later. I don't know. I'm not going to hold hope, but I'm also not going to hold resentment towards them either. This is a decision I made. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you just have to be in that circle of people that will support you. I'll use my friend's example again, sort of, is she has a good support group of people, small group of friends, and they all support her as an individual. So those people are going to continue to support you going forward. The people that you just see, out at a restaurant, or if you're at a bar or you're at a birthday party, they might not. And that's okay. Just don't take offense to that. I used to be like, you kidding me? This person doesn't support me. They just don't understand it. That's
Great
all.
advice.
They just don't. They don't understand it. So
that's a phenomenal point.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Thank you.
I remember when I started Stay Space, I had a good handful of people that just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Right. They just, I don't understand this. And they were, some were and are, right, close friends, and some family, right, that just didn't get it, and they're like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you would leave a good 6-figure paying job,
right,
for this little Airbnb thing that you're going to do over there, right? Like, I don't even know what the heck that's about. The funny thing is that some of them, not all of them, but some of them, I've had discussion with years later, and they're like, yeah, remember when I said I didn't get it? Yeah, good for you. Keep going. Like, it's, because then, like, it's casting the vision. It's seeing the vision and saying, I'm going to go get it. But you hit the nail on the head earlier, is that very few people are able to develop what that vision is. Right. And in my experiences, right, it's like planting a seed, right? Okay. You can't plant a seed into sand.
No.
Right. You have to water the seed. You have to nourish the seed in order for that seed to grow. So I love the fact that you talk through environment, right? Like environment, I couldn't agree with that more.
Yeah.
Because when it really turned for me was when I got around the right people that were, for me, doing the same exact thing that I was doing. It's like, then it kind of felt weird not to have, at the time, it felt weird not to have 20 properties under management.
Right.
So I go from
he was the small guy in that room.
Yeah.
So I go from my internal group who are like, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to, do this? That doesn't make any sense to me. Right. And if I stay in that, I'm in sand. I'm a seed in sand.
Yep.
Okay. Instead, I get around people who are operating 20, 30, 40, 50 properties.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, now I'm in some soil.
Yeah.
I just got to nourish myself and water myself with those around me. And let's see how far we can take this thing, how far we can push this thing. But that environment is so important.
Yeah. That piece.
And you hit the nail on the head.
That might be the most important thing after you know what you're going to do.
Yes.
Because if you don't, because I think the environments, like Daryl and I've had a lot of conversations about this. The environments are just, especially when it comes from people that they love you and
Yeah.
you know that they care about you. It is only fear.
Yeah.
They're sitting there going, first of all, I'm scared for you. Second of all, I could never do that because
Yeah.
I like my little cozy, what they think is secure, salary that's coming in. And sometimes it is secure. So like you said, we still need certain jobs and certain careers and
Yeah.
things like that. But the environment, you have to have that closed mind towards the negative.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily with ill intent, right? At all. They just don't understand it. And so
Right.
fear creeps in, which can then make you start to question and go, I've been doing this. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
You took the words pretty much right out of my mouth with that, because here's where it can be a detriment to you mentally and emotionally if you don't, I don't want to say get rid of, because that's a very strong word, but if you don't sort of put the blinders on and get in the right rooms with the right people, I'm thinking specifically, I had a childhood friend that I had to separate because I'm like, this is just causing me too much stress. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to be on you all the time. Are you still doing that little thing? Like, are you still doing that little thing? The moment that pops though, and you're doing very well, I always knew you could do it. So now you're stuck in that circle again, because now you had someone that was so against the grain on what you were doing. And then all of a sudden they're cheering for you because you made it. And that I
proved them wrong.
Yeah. Personally, it just feels bad.
Yeah.
I'll give you a different example on that. And it's a friend of mine. I don't know how many people he tells this story to, so I'm gonna leave his name out of it for now.
Yeah.
But he was sharing with me a story, and he shares a story with a lot of people, so he probably wouldn't mind. But he was sharing a story that there was someone from his hometown, okay, that I think he knew more like as an acquaintance. Yeah. Okay, maybe a friend. I don't know exact acquaintance friend, but it was someone close enough that we get together with this person, right? I would get together with this person, and I think the person in the beginning of his journey, very kind of like a naysayer, right? Didn't not super supportive, that's for sure. Okay,
yeah.
And then when he made it, right, and we never really make it, right? But like, okay, now this thing is kind of now it's making some money, now it's doing well. Then he starts to give him a hard time about it. Like not like a jerk.
Wow.
But like, yeah. So how much money do you make now? How much you worth now? Like
razzing him.
Yeah. Like, and he looked at him like, and this is kind of when he was like, I just got to cut this off with this guy completely. And he's like, yeah, how rich are you? It was like one of those comments. He's like, how rich are you? And instead of like, kind of like, he just looked at him straight in the eye. He's like, I don't know, pretty freaking rich.
I love it.
Like, and that's not him, by the way. Like, that's not this person. Right. That's not who they are. But it's like, dude, enough.
Yeah.
Enough. But the point, like, that's not the environment that you should be around.
No. Because you're constantly having to defend. Thank you. That's the word. Yeah. You're in that cycle, which then plays against your own personal I want to say demons, but your own personal struggles that are screaming at you anyways, because like you said, you're in a growth period. You're finding out some things that you're like, oh man, I got to fix some stuff that I don't love to do.
Right. And
I know Daryl can talk about that at nauseum for all the different things that he's developed and gone through and been like, oh, that's not working. Let's try, so you have to have that persistence and you cannot have someone going, oh, it's like poking at you. Yeah. And then when you make it almost like, because they knew that they were poking at you, they have to like flip the script to be like, oh no, I've been supporting you all along. I'm just joking. I'm just being fun. No, you're not.
Right.
You're actually not. You don't get it. It's okay. You don't have to get it. But then how about just zip it?
Yeah. I think you can identify those people pretty early on before you leave your corporate, if you're still there, because those same people, and from my experience, again, like childhood friend, they'll still find ways to poke at you. Oh yeah, well, you're not happy, but you make so much money and this and that, and it's like, well, wait, hold on a second. Like, they just don't understand. It's not always about like, yeah, I made decent money, cool, but I'm not happy. And they're like, yeah, but you know what? It pays the bills. And I get chills when I hear that, because it's like, yeah, it pays the bills, but like you're not fulfilled, you're not happy, you're not doing something you love. Like, holy moly, I can't do that.
We don't have much time on this earth. So
Yeah, no.
right. Like if you're doing,
Yeah.
I recently had a conversation with a person who explained to me how much they hated work. Like
Mhm.
that's how they grew up. They grew up hating work. That's all they've known. All they've known in their entire life
Yeah.
is I hate work. I hate going to work, but it has to be done to make
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
That's a
100%.
really horrible way to live.
And then you can't wait for Friday because the weekend is your escape from your horribleness. And then Mondays you dread because you're going back to the horribleness.
Right. Well, and
That is if that's your, Monday through
yeah,
Friday or whatever
right.
your role is.
Right. And that brings up another great point is in entrepreneurship, especially early on, I feel like a lot of people might say it's kind of like the must be nice. And when you do start to quote unquote make it, and it's like, they don't understand Saturday birthday parties, Sunday family days, you missed a lot of those because you had to get something done. It was when we started the clinic 7 days a week, it was just, I was driving everywhere with the kids or driving to events or doing that. They don't see that. They just see the end. It's like, well, he made it now. And it's like, no, you don't understand the sacrifice that has to go into that. And that's another tip I give people is be ready to sacrifice, whether it's family time or a party or your friends going out or any of those things. I said when I was going to go out, I said, I'm going to make this work. I'm willing to sacrifice whatever it takes. I went to the extreme of if we get to a point and I have to sell a vehicle, I will do that because I have that much confidence in myself. They make new vehicles every day. I don't care. But you have to be willing to sacrifice something.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I hope we don't get there. That's not even on the table at this point, but it's a great way to relay, like, you have to just be ready for that. And if you have the stomach for that, great. You're
ready. Sacrificing for yourself, no longer sacrificing for some big, giant machine.
Exactly.
Right. There's more pride, I think, in that a little bit. And I mean, pride is a dangerous emotion, right? It could be good and bad, but there's more value that you feel like, almost like it doesn't feel as much of a sacrifice because you're like, I know what I'm doing and I know that I can do it. Like you shared, you're very creative. And when you're in the nitty gritty of building what it is that you're passionate about, you're like, this is cool. This is okay. Right. And yes, you're right. I'm glad you brought that up because it's still effort. It's not like you just made this decision and then all of a sudden you just, everything's fell into place. I mean, it took Daryl and a long time to figure out through trial and error and through mistakes or through pivots or through understanding something's going to work better to get to the levels that you have to get to. But he knew he was going to get there, right, Daryl? You knew it.
And always knew it. Well, you have to be able to this is, I think, the difference between a successful entrepreneur and one that's kind of, still figuring it out. Here's my belief on it. It's the one that truly, confirms and affirms to themselves that there is no plan B.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm going all in on this thing. There is no safety net. We're going no matter what. Right. Those are the entrepreneurs that I see, and not even just entrepreneurs, those in life. Like if you look at any successful, all the ones that I've read anyway, like successful business leader, TV personality, band, right? Mm-hmm. Like they went all in. They were fully prepared to fall flat on their face. Aerosmith, Steve Harvey, right? Just jumped off top of my head real quick. Like nothing. It's like, I'm all in on this thing. I'm down to my last dollar here, and even then, I think I borrowed that from somebody else, right? It's that definiteness of purpose, right? And I said this to Cooper the other night, just to kind of, again, bring it back. We're just talking about this whole math thing right now, and I'm trying to instill in him this mindset piece. And he kind of says to me, he's like, well, I spoke to my teacher. He thinks I can do this advanced course, and I think I can too. And he's saying a lot of good things. And then he kind of just puts this in here. He's just like, I got to find out if it doesn't work out, if my grades slip, if I can go to the other class. And I stopped and I looked at him. I go, dude, I just want you to know, if you do this, if you decide to go into this class, you're all in. There is no other class.
Yeah.
because he talks about his dream of being, for now, a collegiate football player, right? Quarterback.
Yeah.
Love to play pro. I'm like, great. I support you in that. There is no plan B. You're going to go get a good education, because I just know the difficulties in it and the odds.
For sure.
I believe he can do it. I absolutely believe he can do it, right? But I just know the challenges that go along with that. So what I say to him is, you don't have a plan B. If you want to be a collegiate athlete, you don't have a plan B. There is no
all in on that. Yeah.
Right.
There's no, and then if you want to be a pro athlete, there is no plan B. You don't put your foot in another bucket.
Right.
Yeah.
You go all in on this thing.
Yep. That's
a
great point.
And just, it's for him. And I wish I knew this stuff growing up. So
my gosh.
I'm hoping he's hearing this, right? It's like you for something as simple as a math course, you're going to go all in on this thing. Like, this is going to be your personality. You are going to go all in on everything that you do, or just don't do it.
Yep.
I love that so much.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And there's a lot like to unpack in that too, but you're going to go in, no plan B. And I've had similar conversations with Ari. Ari my oldest wants to start a Etsy shop to sell bracelets and necklaces. She's very creative in that regard too.
Another little entrepreneur in the making.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said,
better start young.
Yeah. I was, 9. She'll be 10 in August. I'm like, I'll absolutely
phenomenal.
do that. And I said, here's the thing. There's prerequisites for me starting this. You're going to go all in on it. Sort of like a no plan B. She's 9. So there's not really like, if I don't do this, I got to make anklets. It's not like that. So I said to her, you have to make 50 bracelets. You have to make different sizes. You have to make themes. Like, I want you to really think about it. Then I will open the store, because that's going to show me that you're sticking with it. Like, I'm all in on it. If I'm not, we're not going to do it, because you have to show me your commitment level in that and show me that, like, no, I'm only focused on this right now. Not, well, I did 2, but now I'm going to go like color this page and I'm going to, make this other art thing. No, stick to the one art that you're really good at. And she actually brought up the other day, crocheting. I'm doing crochet. And I'm like, you still doing the bracelets? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, stick with one until we start, and then you can build on that. Like, you have to start with one thing. So
yes, like that's, and I love, like, for now, like, as parents, right, we're saying, hey, that's, you're going to commit to one thing for me. Then the transition here, you're going to commit to one thing for yourself.
Yes.
Right. And to the universe.
Yeah.
To the energy, right?
Right.
If listeners are, if you're a person of faith, to God, right? Right. Like, you're gonna commit to one thing here, and you're gonna go all in.
Yes.
For yourself, and that's it. And that's like the next iteration of that. And that's, I mean, we're both doing the same thing in different ways, right? It's like, this isn't for me. This is, you want to do it, great, I love it. Go do it, but go do it, all of it, right?
And I'm telling you, it'll work, because my kid is 17. He's a junior. And Daryl knows this. He's now already a volunteer firefighter. He has had a hard time with being passionate about just being in school. And Daryl and I've talked about this too. It's not really, man, if I could just go in and shake up the whole way that they do things, especially for boys or really active girls, right? Daryl, we've talked about this.
Yep.
No outlets. You're like stuck in this box. Anyways.
Yeah.
But what's funny is his passions and yours and Daryl's, your kids are starting to show the passions. And if you, like you said, I'll support you. I'll open the Etsy shop. Oh, okay. Cooper, you want to be a quarterback, and I'm seeing that you're actually putting the time and the effort into it. We'll go to the camps. We'll throw the football extra times outside. I'll see you doing, push-ups or whatever the heck he's got to do. And as he gets going, and I'm going to, and now I see my son, and that's probably going to, that's his passion. That's what he wants to be a first responder, and he's already doing it.
Yep.
And that is where he puts all of his, like, if he could live at the firehouse now and just be like, can I just graduate high school and forget the rest? But it's really cool, because when you start to instill that in them, and I did that with him a long time ago too, some of it's built in, of course, it's gonna show. And not just go to get your good grades, go to college. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but if there's something else inside of somebody, and I feel so passionate about this, and start not trying to go too far off topic, start to instill that in your kids as young as you can.
Yep.
because that is going to help them as they grow, so that I'm not sitting here at 46 years old learning this stuff later. I mean, I sit here and go, man, like Nate, Daryl too, like you guys, like think about it. I'm not saying we shouldn't have appreciated our experiences, but just if we knew this stuff.
I think it's a fine line though. So yes, if we knew this stuff, can you imagine? That's good for the next generation. Huge.
100%.
But for us, for me, I'm at peace with it. It has led me to where I am today. It prepared me for where I am today. Right. Yeah. Could I have, with the upbringing that I had, which wasn't a bad upbringing, by the way.
Yeah.
But could I have at 20 started Stay Space and been successful with it? Maybe not.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Maybe not. Right. Like maybe I didn't even have the vision to do that. Right. Like, whatever that might've been. So everything that has led me to this point has prepared me for this point. Right.
100%.
So, and this is like, I know what you meant by it, Maria, but I want others to like not think too deep into that, because if that's where you're at, you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
totally.
You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now in life. So if you,
it just makes me excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me excited to see how we can help our kids and the next generation, like you said. Yes, exactly. I mean, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if you told me a year ago that I'd be sitting here right now, I'd be like, you're hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what?
And to like bring all that together too, like Daryl, you said it, it's, I lost train of thought for a second, but it's the like setting the stage. Like you and I, all three of us had a certain upbringing, and we want to pass on what we know now. And we wish we would have known back then to the kids. I used to sit on job sites. My dad's in commercial construction. I used to sit on job sites Saturdays, sometimes Sunday, watching him like pursue his passion and like really lay the groundwork for me to go, all right, I really need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm doing that for the girls now. Whether they're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur is a great asset too, because
100%.
You can be, there's someone that I follow, a big podcast guy, that he always says, be the CEO of your own life. And I feel like that rang such a bell, because it doesn't mean you have to be the CEO. If that's not what you want to do, or that's not your calling, be an intrapreneur. Be someone that's like a leader inside of a company that grows the ranks, grows culture, helps people grow. That's just as noble and great. And you can have great success with all of that too. It doesn't have to be 100%. One or the other. So
100%. I know that the name of the podcast is Quit the Quota, but I've said it time and time again that if you are in a spot like a Dine that we both had experiences with, if you're in a good spot with a good culture, and even more important, you have a good leader, a great leader, don't change a thing. Don't, unless you had like an extreme calling, right? Then you should follow your calling, of course. But you've got gold right now. You have gold, which is really, really difficult to find. And don't get me wrong, you're going to have gripes in that spot. Everyone does. Like we had plenty of gripes at Dine. There was plenty of stuff to talk about. But like I said in the earlier part of the show, they got more right than they got wrong. Significantly more right. So
such a great point.
If you're in that environment, yes, double down on that. I think I look back at my time at Dine, I honestly wish I did more when the culture was the way that it was.
Agreed.
Because it may have, I don't know if it would have, but it may have, kept that culture more intact.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even have the experiences at that time. So it's like, again, everything prepares you for where you are now. Right. Yeah. So it's like, if you can do that, then do that. That's awesome.
Yeah. 100%. That's awesome.
It's definitely, it's a fun game. I call it a game. It's a fun game to play. Right. And with, I guess, just kind of going like closing that loop with like the kids, I just try and look at what did I do when I had the car business in high school? If I knew then what I know now, I would have, could have, should have done this. But the second best thing to do is if my kids are showing any interest in some of that stuff, talk about it. Talk about it. Hey, Dad used to do this.
Just have open conversations.
Right. Yeah. Just be proud of it, because that is something that trained me for where I am today. Just like you said, Daryl. And that's the best way to put it. It's everything that you've done up to now leads you to where you are today. And you just have to be happy with that. Like be at peace with it, because nothing was wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You just
Right.
you weren't ready at that time. So whatever you believe in sent you on a different path for that time being. So,
And if you have the calling to do something, do it now. Like, do
exactly.
it
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Don't delay on it. Don't wait on it.
No.
Do it now. Seek out a great friend or a great support group to become the soil instead of the sand,
Yeah.
right? And just go.
I
What
think, I think, not to interrupt, but real quick thought, I think that's what you guys are building with this is could be and can be, will be a place for people that are not in that mindset right off the bat, or maybe they're like kind of in it, but they need that extra push. I think Quit the Quota with what I know, what we've talked about, can and will be that. And people need that. They don't need the guru, the guy that sells t-shirts and said, I made millions of dollars, come pay for my program. No, they need people that have been in the weeds. I've been there. That's why I'm saying it. I used to do that. And even that I learned stuff from. But I think this initiative that you guys are starting will be that place where people can go, feel like they're not being judged. They're not being, ridiculed for what they're trying to. No, like, come on in. Let me teach you what I know. Maybe you take one little thing out of it. If you do,
Yeah.
awesome. And Daryl, you and I have had some conversations, and I walk away going, I got it. Right? Like, it's just that light bulb. That's all you need.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing that, because that is the intent.
Yeah.
That is the intent, right? If I had a podcast like this again 10 years ago, right? Who knows? Who knows, right? So I just know
Just be
that
inspired, right? Yeah. Just to be inspired by something, like you said. One nugget. Although today's episode is full of
Lots
nuggets.
of
I have
nuggets.
all kinds of notes.
That's awesome.
and the ecosystem, as big as it was at the companies that I was a part of, right? And and then you look at the coaching trees, right? But like, as big as that was, and all the people that I knew and that and we all know, how many do you really know that have made the jump to a full entrepreneurship role? And I mean, for me, tons of people talked about it.
Yeah.
Tons. Like,
Tons of people talk about it, but I do not have tons of people that I know that have done it.
this is my point. So everyone, including myself, can have the tendency to gripe, like, this play. If I was in charge of it, I would do this, right? Or if I would go build this, I would do this completely differently, right?
Mhm.
So everyone does it, and some just blow off steam, and I get that. So that's not necessarily who I'm talking to, but there's a large portion of people who aren't blowing off steam, who are serious about it, but they just don't have the network. They don't have the community. They don't have the person who says, go, go, go. Similar to your story with your friend, I have another friend. Hopefully he's a guest on the show. I think he will, but he's not exactly a sales background, a little bit of sales in there, but not a ton of sales background. And same thing, laid off. And I said, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And now he is completely on a different trajectory, building his own golf business.
That's amazing.
And it's insane. He's killing it to the point where he's like, I don't have time. He's helping us a little bit in state space. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna have time to help you this year because the golf business is so crazy. I'm like, outstanding. I love that.
And he glows. He glows.
Yes.
He's actually he's part of my family too. So I've seen him transform. So, we've talked about a lot of this, and I know we've mentioned a lot of amazing things and stories and how to grow and all that, but that's the word, because in order to get to these places, you have to grow into who can be the Nate, who can be the Daryl, who can be the Maria. And I'm watching that with him. He's a different person in the best of ways, right? He just kind of glows and kind of floats, and confidence out of the stratosphere now. And so that's also the part that we didn't really talk about too much is the journey to get to where you're at now, Nate. If you think back, I'm sure in this period of time, even from November, right? I'm sure there's like, if you look at yourself, you're kind of like, I'm not really who I was even then.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I feel like a total different person in a lot of ways, right? Like a lot of ways. And there's a lot that goes into that. That could be another, full length podcast, but it definitely, it's different. And I saw you get excited explaining you watching him change. And I get over the moon for people that change like that. And it's not because they were bad people before. It's just that their mind was limiting them a little bit, and they saw it. And I'm like, man, this is so cool to watch. Like, I absolutely love seeing people take something, see the spark, and then go all in on it. Like, it's so fun to watch.
Awesome.
I just had a light bulb moment for a future show. I took a note on it, right?
Okay, cool.
Because I saw to that point, like, so he's already a great person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very humble, very great person. And I think commonly what a lot of people subliminally fear is that success will change them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Success will change them. Money will change you, right? And here's what I have found with every person that I know that has had success.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're going to change as a person. We're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
But if you're a good person, you just start doing a heck of a lot more good.
Nailed it.
Because the money is the tool that allows you to do more.
Exactly.
If you're a bad person already, then you're just going to do a heck of a lot more bad, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're going to do more damage.
Yes. So I see that with him because he like to that point, like he is just even more glowing, even more abundant, and even more welcoming. He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. I couldn't be more proud. Wow.
That's awesome to hear. Like, I've seen the opposite side of that. I'll just say family member that has that like limiting, like, it's, I don't even know how to say it, but it's more of the money's bad type of thing. And I challenge them and I say, well, hold on a second. What do you care about? And they can say, I really like these causes and that. Well, wouldn't having more money be enabling you to contribute more to that cause that you love?
100%.
Well, yeah, but that's not usually what happens. I'm like, well, hold on. If you're a good person and you start making a lot more money over time, you can contribute to that. Now you're a good person that made a lot of money or whatever it is, or maybe you had more time to volunteer for something that you love. That's what that helps you do. And some people just, they don't want to look at it that way. They just want money changes everybody. It does, but it doesn't.
That's because of the my gosh, I'm taking another note for a podcast. It's the stories that are told to us.
Yes.
And how we're raised. And, and to Daryl's point, if you're, and yours earlier too, if your drive is just to make more money, so you can sit there like, what is it? Not Daffy Duck, Scrooge
McDuck.
Right. And he's sitting on his pile of money and he's counting it. But he's horribly, like, his integrity and character is terrible. Well, yeah. But it's okay as long as you're using what you've been given, right? The to whom much is given, much is required.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes in a lot of ways.
100%.
So, Nate, my friend, what an amazing podcast. I'm calling you my friend now. Wonderful, unbelievable points and sharing. Thank you for being so honest and some of these, get a good mindset. If you don't know how to do it, reach out. If you're looking for more of Nate's story, Nate, where can they find you?
Yeah. So I'm primarily on Instagram Threads, Facebook a little bit at Nate Frisella there. So if anyone wants to connect, awesome. I will say, like, shameless plug, if anybody's like you just said it, reach out. If anybody's thinking about that stuff, I always preface, like, this isn't a pitch, because I talk about web a lot. So, like, I don't want it to seem like, hey, do this web. It's not a pitch. I love helping people with this type of stuff, just like you guys do. So if anybody wants to connect, I'd be more than happy to connect, have conversations, DMs, whatever you want to do. But that's where you find me primarily. And all my business stuff is in there too. So you guys will find it there.
I can second that, or I can attest to that, because back 6 years ago now, coming up on 6 years, when I was starting Stay Space, I just pinged Nate for like a quick little question. It wasn't anything super in depth. I mean, and it was awesome. He like right back to me right away. And, And actually, I think you logged into my website real quick.
I might have.
I was stuck. I couldn't figure out.
Was it like hour 42 when you didn't sleep with this giant pot of coffee?
I couldn't make this little whatever it was, and I went to my network of people, and they didn't know how to do it. I'm like, what the hell? And then I think at the time, I might have either known you were in it, or you might have posted a little something. I'm just like, dude, I need a little bit of help here. And then you got it done like in like 10 seconds. It probably maybe it felt like 10 seconds to me. Maybe it was a lot longer, but I'm like, thank you. I just spent days on this trying to figure this out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And now to that point, right? Like when I needed to build a website, for Quit the Quota. So that's
Yeah.
going to be for anyone listening right
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah.
that's a good what do they call it? A portfolio example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
So when I needed it, I was like, dude, I need some help with this. Can you help me out? And you're like, yep, I got it. Right.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I'm a paying customer now too. I'm
Yeah. And I appreciate both of you for that. Like, honestly, and thank you for inviting me on this too. It's been a blast. Like I said, we could talk for 2 more hours.
We'll
So
do it
I
again.
know,
We'll do it again.
yeah,
For
absolutely.
sure.
We'll
have you on
absolutely do it again because you're starting, like you said, you're in the early stages of your journey now, and as you grow into this journey, you're gonna have new awarenesses as you go, right? So today was
that are
definitely
going to help
around
people.
the transition of this, right? And going from the cocoon to the butterfly, right? Like, so you're I think you're coming out of that cocoon. Those wings haven't fully opened yet.
Right.
We're starting to see some colors there, right? Like they're starting to. So
absolutely.
Would love to have you back on. I'd say, I don't know what the time frame is, but like a year or so, and just talk through the journey from today forward. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I would be honored to do that. So keep in touch, and we'll definitely do that. But again, thank you guys. It's been great, and you guys are going to do great with this. I can already tell. So I'm excited.
Thank you so very much, everybody. We appreciate you listening. You know where to reach us. Tell us your story so we can have you on, just like Nate, where you can, share some awarenesses or advice for people that are looking to quit their quota. So thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. We'd love to hear your story on how you quit the quota. So please reach out so we can feature your story.